I like theme parks. The fastest roller coaster I've ever been on is at a casino in Nevada, Tia Carreri. After an hour of waiting in line, you finally grab a seat on the park's most impressive ride, a towering roller coaster. As the ride operator puts the restraint over your shoulders, butterflies flutter in your gut and you realize there's no turning back. Today we're going to discuss some roller coaster accidents that killed people. Subscribe to our channel for more exciting videos. If you've ever been on a roller coaster, you know the tense thrill that develops as the car steadily climbs to the top of the ride. It's the stillness before a thrilling burst of speed, tight twists, and 360-degree loops. Roller coasters appear to be extremely safe compared to the danger of getting struck by lightning in a given year, which is approximately 1 in 960,000. Rides can sometimes result in significant injuries such as whiplash, muscle strain, shattered bones, or heart attacks. Riders may not die as a result of these injuries, but they may live with the effects for the rest of their life. Roller coasters excite riders with their speed and force. The world's highest roller coaster towers over 450 feet in the air. The fastest roller coaster can reach speeds of nearly 150 miles per hour. As a result, roller coasters are subjected to tremendous strain. Over time, cars, tracks, supports, and drive systems corrode. Many roller coasters are also subjected to harsh weather conditions, which can lead to corrosion. Think how crazy it would be if the lift chain that was bringing your car to the summit broke and sent it careening backward. That's exactly what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma's Bell's Amusement Park on April 20, 1997. When one of the ride's cars reached the top of the steepest hill, it stuck, and a safety feature designed to keep it from sliding backward failed. The automobile slid 45 feet back down to the track and collided with another car, ejecting a 14-year-old kid who was the only fatality. 6 more people were hurt. State authorities eventually established that Bell's had changed the plastic portion of the anti-rollback device with an unapproved material by the manufacturer. While the victims' relatives worked out a financial deal with the park's owners, criminal charges were eventually dropped, and the amusement park closed in 2006. Wild Wonder in New Jersey's Ocean City, a car lost traction and plummeted 30 feet rearward towards a sharp curve due to several mechanical issues. On August 28, 1999, after being flung from their automobile due to the intensity of the turn, a 39-year-old lady and her 8-year-old daughter were murdered while 2 others were injured. Aside from the drag chain of the ride prematurely releasing, the ride's safety systems, including the pier's lap bar and built-in anti-rollback safety mechanisms, also failed to prevent the tragic accident. Roller coasters do not have to reach great heights or high speeds to be fatal. Bullard's Whizzer had a height of only 70 feet and a top speed of only 42 miles per hour. It was so tame that when it first opened in 1976, the cars didn't even have restraints. On March 29, 1980, a teenager was climbing onto the ride when, without warning, a second train approached behind him and rammed it. The boy was thrown onto the tracks where the oncoming train crushed his chest and abdomen. The crash injured 8 other people. On September 4, 2003, Disneyland was clearly not the happiest place on Earth when negligent maintenance of the park's Big Thunder Mountain Railroad resulted in the derailment of the leading locomotive car. It broke away from the automobiles, got airborne, and crashed into the front passenger car, killing one 22-year-old man and injuring 10 others. The lone victim died after bleeding from blunt force wounds to his chest. His family sued the park and reached an undisclosed settlement. But this was not the first. It was the ride's second serious disaster following a 1998 incident in which a 5-year-old boy's foot became trapped between the passenger vehicle and the platform. He tried to leave during a brief break near the conclusion, assuming the journey was over. As a result of the horrific injury, all of his toes had to be removed. On May 5, 2007, it was Children's Day in Japan, but no one was celebrating after a roller coaster accident in Osaka killed 1 and injured 19. The tragedy happened on the Fujin Raijin 2 ride at Expoland, an amusement park that was established for the 1970 International Exposition. Riders were compelled to stand throughout the 0.65-mile route where 6-car trains achieved speeds of up to 47 miles per hour. When 20 people boarded the Fujin Raijin 2 in the early afternoon, everything seemed normal. The trip was more than halfway through when the second car derailed and tipped dramatically to the left toward the guardrail. One young woman was killed when she hit her head on the railing as the coaster rushed down the tracks. So it went on, producing a dreadful scraping sound before coming to a stop 329 yards later. The deadly accident was caused by a damaged wheel axle, according to Expoland's operator. The issue may have been discovered during the ride's annual maintenance, but repairs did not take place in 2007 because the park stated it did not have adequate capacity to remove and inspect the vehicles. The iconic Lagoon Amusement Park's Puff, Little Fire Dragon, has been devastated to an appealing degree. When a 13-year-old girl tried to stand up on the site's wooden roller coaster ride, she fell 35 feet to her death. Previously, a 20-year-old man died in the same manner in 1934, and a 23-year-old was killed while completing maintenance work on the coaster in 1946. Another horrible coaster-related child tragedy occurred at the same park in 1989 when a 6-year-old boy riding the Puff the Little Fire Dragon attraction jumped up after it came to a standstill, thinking it was over. However, while he was halfway out of the vehicle, the operator restarted the ride for another round. He fell through the tracks and was attempting to climb back up when he was hit by the car as it returned to the station, his terrified parents watching helplessly. The Treetop Twister, a brand new addition to New Yorkshire's Lightwater Valley theme park, was marketed as a hair-raising hybrid between a roller coaster and a waltzer. It had just been in existence for a month when it claimed the life of a British student on June 21, 2001. Several of the vehicles collided when an unnoticed wiring error overrode the emergency systems that should have averted the collision. Gemma Savage, 20, died after being airlifted to a hospital after sustaining severe head and spinal injuries. Her family filed a lawsuit against the park, but her death was considered a misadventure rather than a murder, and no charges were filed against the ride's maintenance worker. Despite its disastrous beginnings, the coaster is still in operation under the abbreviated name Twister, and it was the location of another catastrophic blunder when a worker fired up the ride as a joke while another was checking it out. The victim was launched 13 meters into the air before another attendant intervened to prevent additional harm, but she was still terrified. The Derby Racer in Revere Beach, Massachusetts, had a unique idea. Two trains raced down parallel rails to the bottom of the ride's finish line. Due to the coaster's poor safety record, however, excitement and friendly rivalry were frequently turned into tragedy. In 1917, a guy fell out of his car while attempting to grab his hat as the train approached a steep decline. He landed on the opposite track and was dragged 35 feet by the train. He died as a result of almost every bone in his body being broken. This incident on the list that occurred indoors is the 1986 Mindbender accident, but it doesn't make it any less awful. The ride, which was built as the largest indoor triple-loop coaster, was made of steel and included a 4-car train. It was the major feature of Fantasyland, the amusement park at the West Edmonton Mall. An Alberta government safety inspector had pronounced the ride safe the day before. The train skidded around a bend at 60 miles per hour on June 14, 1986, gaining speed for the first 3 loops. However, before it arrived, the rear car began to fishtail. It completed the first 2 circuits, but derailment occurred as it reached the third, bringing it to a halt at the summit and rolling backward into a concrete column. 3 riders were killed, while at least 15 others were injured. What will be your reaction when you see a roller coaster next time? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel.